Welcome to the What's Over Verdict podcast, where we fashion ourselves cinematic judge and jury. My name is JJ Crowder. I'm here with my co-host, Alec Burgess.
Let's get it.
We appreciate you tuning in. Go ahead, hit that follow, subscribe, like, bell notification buttons. Tell a friend about us. Tell a family member about us. Tell some plumbers about us. We like those guys. But yeah, welcome. Week 4. Before we get into what movie, though, go check us out on Patreon. You can be part of these shenanigans. Plus, we just redesigned it, so there's a lot more offerings, a lot more things coming down the pike. You can torture us in many more ways than you've ever been able to do so before, and a lot easier, and in some cases for less fundage help with. But we appreciate any fundage. We appreciate even if you don't do any of that and you join for free. Just get involved in votes, picking topics. We always love the interaction. So whatever level of you choose to be involved in the podcast, we appreciate it. So with that being said, let's get into week 4 of movies that we just don't know how the hell they got made. And yeah, we're ending with a doozy. My only pick, Super Mario Brothers. It was released May 28th, 1993. This is a list, and this is telling. It was written by Parker Bennett, Terry Runt, and Ed Solomon. And it was directed by Annabelle Jankel and Rocky Morton. So there were so many fucking people involved in this movie. It's amazing that we got anything at all. It stars Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, Dennis Hopper, Samantha Mathis, Fisher Stevens, Richard Edson. The names on this list: Fiona Shaw, Mojo Nixon, and Melody Salvatore. It's about 2 Brooklyn plumbers, Mario and Luigi, who must travel to another dimension to rescue a princess from the evil dictator King Koopa and stop him from taking over the world. Sure. It's my movie. I picked this because I remember in 1993 being a young chap that was super into video games, super excited about the fact that we were getting a video game movie about a video game that I was like, I love Mario Brothers. Like, I grew up on Mario Brothers. This was like the game when I was like a kid, right? So outside of, I came off the tail end of the Atari and jumped into, I was the first of my friends that had a Nintendo, the regular Nintendo Entertainment Center system. And like, it was fucking, and this is the game, man. Like even my parents used to sit and play Mario and hop around and get the infinite lives and all that shit. So we were all excited. And then at the time too, like Bob Hoskins was a name and John Leguizamo was up and coming. And then you get like freaking Koopa, Dennis Hopper, who's all like Dennis Hopper was Dennis Hopper. So we were like, fucking A, right. And even as a 12-year-old dude, I went and saw this, and me and my buddy Lamar were like, what the fuck did we just watch? That was not Mario. What in the hell? And this is like always been at the top of my list of how did this movie get, like, how? It doesn't even remotely relate, other than the names. It doesn't even remotely relate to Super Mario Brothers, like, at all. Like, it's terrible. And I'm like, every time I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, this gets worse and worse. And there's a huge cult following out there, right? Like, there's people who are like, no, this is the great. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. This is not something you should spend time watching. And it was torture to watch it again. It'd been, again, another probably a couple decades since I'd even watched this movie out of spite or to like force somebody else to watch it with me. It was terrible. I think it might be worse now that I'm in my 40s. I'm like, this movie's bad. But with that, we had a Super Mario Brothers virgin here that I'm dying to hear your thoughts.
So here's my thing. I liked it if it wasn't Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, that's fair.
Here's the problem. The movie itself, if you go through and you take out Mario, Luigi, and if you take out the names, let's say,
yeah,
they've got something there.
Mm-hmm.
They very much have the 90s fix practical effects, Jumanji-esque type of style, add in the parallel world. You've got all your makings for greatness.
Yeah.
Biggest beef. And the problem is you slap Super Mario Brothers on it. And you have too much connection to the game and not enough of paying, homage to the game. And that is here's the thing. This is what got me riled up when I was watching it, is because we see it all the time now. They've been doing it for as long as I've been alive now, apparently, that I didn't realize. You take source material and you butcher it into nothing and build it up almost into your own fanfic.
Yeah.
What's happening. And it's just the worst, because you have a beloved source material, right? So you already have a fan base. You know it's there. You literally just have to take that and transpose it, right? And that's why the new Mario movie that came out just a couple years ago, that was anime and everything, top of the charts. Just credible success.
Yeah.
Because they took the stuff from the game, they picked it up and they put it in the film.
Yep.
And so then you have this, which is, we're going to turn it into some kind of dystopian thing, like the connection back and forth between dinosaurs and Koopa. And it's like, okay, so you have a cool thing there, right? With just the dinosaurs, the asteroid hits, and it, boom, parallel universe.
Yeah.
That's cool. Just lean into that.
Yeah.
And tell your story that way. They can still fucking be plumbers. Just don't put them in the jumpsuits at the end of the movie. Don't do that. Don't make it Mario and Luigi. They can still be. You can have all your plot points be the exact same.
Yeah.
And separate it from the game, and you have, I think, a really good movie. But the fact that someone said, we're gonna take Mario's been a beloved game since it came out.
Oh yeah.
Now, we're talking close to 50 years. It's coming up on as being like one of the top best-selling games. All the different spin-outs with Mario Kart, with the Mario Galaxy, all these things that Mario Party.
Oh yeah.
Mario is the bomb, and it has always been the bomb since it was released. And someone sat in a room and said, you know what we should do? And people okayed it, or nobody said absolutely not.
Yeah.
And it is so bad. But I was sitting there mad, because then I was ticking off on my fingers all the other things that like have come out recently or since this, where it's okay, we're going to take something that was successful and we're going to put it into what we think will be a cool story, and we're going to ignore the thing that made it successful to begin with.
Yep.
And then you get mad at the outrage, right? Because this, like you said, now 30 years later, there's a cult following. But this is just almost illusion at this point, to have this cult following of people. And it's never going to be as many as if you just made the movie good to begin with.
Yeah.
And tie it into the games, have the games kind of going through. But the whole, this is slime, but it's really the king, and the back and forth between evolution and de-evolution. Like the Goombas are being just giant body, little teeny tiny heads. And just sitting there going, they ruined it.
Yeah.
But if you take the Mario aspect out, and you just have this be the movie, it's a really good 90s movie.
Yeah.
It's up there. Like, and I could even throw in, because of the cool practical effects it threw in there, you got like Little Shop of Horrors going on as well, where you have what's going to be a really enjoyable movie to watch, and you hit the nostalgia factor. But the fact that you put Super Mario Brothers as a title and made this about Mario and Luigi, plumbers from Brooklyn, you ruined it. And now it becomes how on earth did someone okay this and think this was a good idea?
Dude, that's the question of the fucking decade right there, or the last three. How the fuck did someone think this was a good idea? Well, and there's a lot of stories too about how nightmarish working on this film was. Like, both Leguizamo and Hoskins have come out and said that they used to drink themselves stupid just to get through the process. And
I believe it.
Fuck. And then there was an old interview with, I gotta see if I can find it. Hold on. There's an old interview with Dennis Hopper, where he's talking about, at the time, where they did an interview with him years later, right? And he says, my son at the time was 6. He said, Dad, I think you're probably a pretty good actor, but why did you play that terrible King Koopa guy in Super Mario Brothers? He said, well, Henry, I did that so you could have shoes. And he looked at me and said, Dad, I don't need shoes that badly. So this 6-year-old just roasted Dennis Hopper, which I love. Because it's bad. Like, and I here's the thing though, is that was a very enlightening speech you just gave, because I never really considered the idea of something that's not attached to Mario Brothers with this storyline and fucking plot points and, you know, how it all hits. And I would love to see someone take this storyline and make it today without it being Mario, because that's the worst part. And you make a good point that, like, it's bad. It's as bad as it is because of the connection to a beloved IP and characters that we all love to love. Like, you can't even Super Mario Brothers 2, which, if you've ever played that game, is the fucking weirdest goddamn game ever and doesn't tie at all into the Super Mario Brothers universe. Like, if you look at all those things that have come out, Super Mario Brothers 3, even though it's kind of a weird thing too, because it's all, sorry to spoil anybody, but it's all a play, right?
Yeah.
That whole game. And then, but then you get into the Super Mario World, Super Mario, Galaxy, that they're making a movie about because of the success of the animated version of Super Mario Brothers. And it's because it was good, because, like you said, it leaned into what made Super Mario Brothers Super Mario Brothers. So it's like, but if you were to take that out of it, I still think this would have been a wonky ass movie, but it would have felt like very Fifth Element ish.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love Fifth Element. It's not necessarily like a great movie from like hitting all the, checking all the boxes and saying this is a great movie, but it's entertaining and it's fun and it's weird because it's its own thing. And so I think in this situation, you're not wrong. So I've looked at this now from a very different perspective from that, going, okay, yeah, I could see that. Like, as I was watching it, which, by the way, you can't watch this on streaming. So if you're looking to go stream this fucker, it doesn't exist. I guess there's some real issues with, like, distributors, and, like, they were just like, no, we're not going to put this movie out.
Disney's trying to bury it deep.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But I guess with this possible purchase of Warner Brothers for whoever's, like, Netflix may be able to put this on Netflix.
They probably won't.
Yeah. Because I guess Universal owns the rights to it. And they've said, nah. And especially now that they've released the new animated versions, they're like, why would we fuck this up with this fucking piece of shit? So, but there may come a point where Netflix may go, oh, we own this shit now, bitch. So here you go. Or who knows? But yeah, it's bad. It's very bad. And I wanted so much. Every time I watch it, I'm like, I want it to be good because I love the cast.
Mm-hmm.
And but then there was some weird choices too, even beyond. And when I say there were weird choices, I mean outside and separate from the fucking overall weird choice that this movie somehow became a Super Mario Brothers movie. But, like, why Daisy versus, you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's because you get the relationship between John Leguizamo instead of being with Mario and Bob Hoskins. Fair. I think that's one. I think the second one is Daisy versus Peach as a name. Daisy's more of a name. Peach is more like a stripper tag.
That's fair.
And so you have, because you can slip it in, and it's almost like this movie really wanted to be its own thing.
Yeah.
And then just throw a little hint of, oh no, this is actually a Mario Brothers movie. Hit this, so it kind of like flies under the radar. But those are my only two things I could think of, because I had the same thought. Because Daisy shows up in the games much later.
Yeah, like way later.
Like way later. And so, yeah, it just doesn't make all that much sense.
Yeah. I mean, Peach was always the thing, and yeah, I mean, your princess is in another castle. What a fucking frustrating man. And then eventually Toad becomes like a beloved character too. And all the way through the first game, all you want to do is kick him in his goddamn monster cap head. Fucking tell me she's in a different castle again. Now, how the fuck are you getting here, dickhole? Like, tell me which one to go to instead of fucking. Yeah,
but we can even take that, right? And so you take the character Toad, from the most recent, right, animated version.
Yeah.
It was Keegan Michael Key, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so great
Oh,
choice.
killer.
You have the little throwback to the line, right? With it's not Toad himself, but it's the mushroom guards that give you that little thing. Then you
Yeah.
take Toad from here,
Oh my god.
right, which is like cyberpunk dystopian rebel.
Yeah.
And then gets turned into a Goomba, but he's allowed to keep his harmonica, so that's how you can differentiate that he's
So
a
dumb.
different Goomba than everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh,
it's horrid.
dude, because it's again, you're throwing in too much for it to be its own thing, but you're not paying enough, homage to what actually is popular and what is important to people and what kind of makes it. So it's a balancing there. You can still have this dystopian type thing. I think you can still make it work.
Sure.
If you take enough time to just not slap a character's name on it.
Yeah.
And call it good to go. And that's essentially what they did.
Oh, for sure. Well, and I think that's the word. Like the most egregious thing is like half of the references in this movie don't connect to anything that we know about Super Mario Brothers. Like, what? And it just doesn't make sense. So like you immediately lose that connection with your source material, which then loses by the proxy the connection that you have with your audience that is there to see a certain thing, right? And even if you had to adapt that certain thing to be a little different to make it more grounded or more weird, or I mean whatever you want to do, you still have to be somewhat true to the source material, even if it's just like a little bit of a gag. And this one it feels like, and I mean, to its credit, like there's parts like and I say to its credit, not the movie's credit, but to like the reporting around this movie's credit, there were so many issues with this direction team, like the two directors. Everybody hated them from what I heard, like in what I've read and in interviews. And apparently they got kicked off the set by their own fucking agent at one point, like because they were just causing so many problems. And I think it was again, anyway, there was another like reference to these. They were saying their arrogance was mistaken for skill and like quality, and so they did a couple of TV show things, and they were like, "Well, these guys they're doing great shit, so we'll do it." And then it turns out that they're just piles of shit, and they wanted to make some adult style film movie versus what the studio wanted was a kids movie, but they'd already spent all this money on it because it wasn't cheap to buy the rights to the name of this fucking deal.
No.
So they were like, we got to put something out. And then this is what we fucking got. And I think I love the way this steampunk or like, you know what I mean? Like that cyberpunk, because that's what this feels like.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking weird. It almost feels like Darkman meets goddamn Super Mario Brothers, and you're like, well, who's thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, it like this is a small thing on the grand scheme of things, but it doesn't make any sense that you have 65 million years, right, in this alternate dimension, whatever, and you've got Manhattan Square as your entire world type of a thing.
Yeah,
all this advanced like technology, weaponry, whatever it is. So you're gonna go back into the world of the mammals and just wreck everybody's shit. And so they're going like,
so stupid.
And so that's so far down at the bottom, but it's just one of those things where it's like they just kind of having two competing directing teams kind of makes sense a little bit.
Yeah. Because
it flip-flops back and forth what you're looking for. And it doesn't land or hit because, for me anyway, because of Super Mario being attached to it. You take that out, and I'm gonna love this movie because I'm cracking up at John Leguizamo's jokes.
Oh my god!
Almost every single time he says something.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. The fact that he's like, the conspiracy theory kind of sitting on the couch watching all these things, and then I cackled when he's like. First when he's with Daisy and the plumbing gets sabotaged. And she's like, oh, thank goodness you're here. You know how to fix it. he's like, right, I know what to do. And then the next scene is him busting into the apartment. He's like, Mario, we need some help.
I need your help. Yeah.
Like I was cackling because it's so well delivered and played by them that it's like that's funny. I enjoyed that. And so I mean you could leave them as being plumbers, just remove Super Mario Brothers, and I think this lands a whole lot better.
I agree.
And I would enjoy it because it's so funny. It's off the wall. It's hilarious to think that, you know, a plumber and a plumber's apprentice like stop this multi-dimensional invasion type of a thing.
Yeah.
And it's just it just so off the wall crazy. But with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, you're gonna have really quotable lines. You're gonna have great acting. You're gonna have like they're gonna be able to carry a scene. And I mean, you can almost see in Bob Hoskins' face, he does not want to be here at all.
Yeah.
Like it's not just angry plumber angst on his face going through the entire movie. Like he's not enjoying the process at all.
No, they were very clear on like how bad especially like Leguizamo, he talked a lot about how bad. Yeah, so it was during Bob Hoskins. Here's what he says. This is Bob Hoskins. It was a fucking nightmare. The whole experience was a nightmare. It had a husband and wife team directing whose arrogance had been mistaken for talent. There's that quote. After so many weeks, their own agent told them to get off the set. Fucking nightmare. Fucking idiots. So you can tell he was thrilled. Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's probably because John Leguizamo's up and coming that he's still trying to like make a name for himself and do everything right. But it makes it funny because you can again have their relationship of being, you know, the older brother versus the younger brother. Older brother's got the jaded outlook on life. Younger brother is all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yeah.
But it's just honestly, it comes down for me for the fact that it's Super Mario Brothers.
Yes. And there
it shouldn't be.
Yeah. It's for sure. Well, and Bob Hoskins is so funny as the Grump. Like his whole career, he made it up just being this like rough-edged dude. You know what I mean? And so you're right, it worked. And he's funny, but it just doesn't. You can't connect it. It's a good perspective because I've always just shit on this movie 100% because it's not Super Mario Brothers.
No, it's not even
terrible. It's not even in the same. Like, how dare you even call it that? But from the perspective of could this be an entertaining film? Oh, for sure. Yeah. If it's not Super Mario Brothers,
just call it the Tonys. Name them both Tony. Make their last name Tony. Tony.
Yeah,
because that was the other funny bit that I cackled at was when they get arrested. And what's the name? Mario. First name, last name. Mario. Are you Mario too? No, I'm Luigi Mario. Like that whole byplay, it's funny.
Yeah.
But it is literally the reason I couldn't stand it and like how did this get made is because you're attached to the Mario IP.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be. You should be your own freestanding thing. And I think this movie does really well if it's its own freestanding thing because it's got that interesting story bit.
Yeah.
You have the cast. The only place you went wrong is trying to piggyback off something else's success and not giving it like the due credit for, you know, being able to piggyback off it and trying to fit your own idea into already pre-existing IP, which never doesn't work well.
No, and there's no connection to this other than the names of the characters. Like that's it. Like, and I mean, it would have even been funny if they had made it as a direct parody, right? Like, you're not calling it Super Mario Brothers, but like you can't help but go. In fact, I think it would have helped. It would have helped it because they would have been like, "Wait a minute, this is just Super Mario Brothers, but not right."
Yeah.
And if you lean into that fact, they're like, "We're making a shitty Super Mario Brothers movie," but they wouldn't let us use the name Super Mario Brothers, so
make them electricians or something.
Yeah, this exactly. And like you just like instead of Toad, his name's Frog. You know what I mean? Or like Koopa, it's like Poopa or Dupa or you know anything. Yeah, that you could have had some real like fucking
could have been clever with it.
Yeah.
But this is just, and it hasn't changed really in my opinion now to here where you get people with an IP and writes to an IP, and they just like, hey, this is a story I want to tell, but I have these rights, so we're gonna fit this square peg in a round hole and call it good.
Yeah, people still making the same mistake. The problem is we're dumber now than in 93. So people also go, oh, I liked it.
Great.
It's good. Yeah. Fuck off.
Great change. And it's like, no. Your story is great. Yeah. Tell it on your own. If you're gonna use a pre-established IP to get the flair, the publicity, whatever it may be, like you gotta pay enough back into the IP to make it worth the while. Because that's the problem. Is you have something that's established. You already got the recipe. Just take that, copy paste. And you can say back and forth, oh, it doesn't work for different mediums. It does. We just saw a Mario movie a couple of years ago that worked perfectly for this.
Yeah.
And there's been successful jumps from different console graphics, storylines, everything. The IP is successful. It's successful for a reason.
Yeah.
All you have to do is take it and copy and paste it.
Mm-hmm.
And the problems come when you're trying to change it or trying to improve, and you're trying to be that artistic, creative, you're trying to mask your arrogance with talent or whatever it may be, and you're going to try and improve upon something that doesn't need improvement. It's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. There's a reason it was popular.
Yes.
Lean into those reasons. Don't fucking shy away from it. Or think you know better than what the public's opinion is,
It's because you will get raked every single time. And then we miss out on like future adaptations or installments or things like that. Like example,
a long ass time.
Yeah, like here, we could use this, but also like something like Ender's Game.
Oh yeah.
Right, great book series. Everybody loves it. People won't touch it right now because of how bad the movie was received.
Oh yeah,
and it's just left hanging. And so you have there's a ton of examples.
Yeah,
you can go back through a bunch of different books over the last little bit. Percy Jackson was one that's barely getting retouched again after a decade and a half. And so you have it's just a recurring cycle.
Yeah,
where you have established IPs, already have a fan base. You're golden. You already made it. Just tell the story.
Yeah,
and it's like, no, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna adjust and move this in here. And then it's like, oh well, that didn't work. It's like, no, because you did too much trying to put your own stamp on it, rather than just telling the story of Super Mario Brothers, how it is in the games. There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Make $1 billion.
Yep.
that's what the equation is.
It's interesting you say that, because another franchise that recently I could think of that suffered inversely because of this is Game of Thrones. The first handful of seasons were amazing because they lifted and dropped the books into a TV show. I mean, there were certain aspects because George R.R. Martin is very overbloated in his writing, and a lot of times, so there's a lot of things that don't translate. But what they translated, what made sense, and it made for a good at least 3 or 4 seasons. And then when they ran past the material, we got to rely on some other dumbass that's not quite as smart as fucking George R.R. Martin when it comes to these characters and story. And we ended up with dog shit at the end. So it's like, this is a perfect example of do what they did the first few seasons when they had source material, and then don't fucking tweak it. Just make it fit, and then leave it alone. Let it do its own thing. Yeah.
You copy paste it, and you can make changes, right?
Sure.
But you have to pay enough back. And so the first 4 seasons, 5 seasons, whatever it was, they're paying enough back. They're having all the right betrayals, the drops, they're portioning it out correctly and how they're telling their story in their seasons. They're breaking it up because you have like the big one is Ned Stark.
Yeah,
that's the end of season 1. The book, that's like chapter 10 of the first book.
Yeah.
And so, but they know where to break it. They know where to cut out. They know how to tell the story enough that you can get all the plot points that matter and still pay back to the book while having compelling TV. Mm-hmm. But as soon as they run out of that source material, now you have some, button presser. It's like, okay, well, let's see what's the next big gotcha moment, or what are we going to do next? We need to have the same kind of drop. We need to increase the ratings. We need all these things, and you lose the story aspect of it.
Yep.
And so that, for me, like watching this, I'm like, you were compelling on your own. I would sit and watch this movie probably several times a year.
Yeah.
If it's not attached to Super Mario Brothers.
Sure.
And it's because you didn't pay enough back to it. You have little tidbits, right? Little bomb thing, little bomb with a wind up. That makes an appearance in the slime.
Yep.
And it's kind of like, oh, hey, I've seen that before. That looks like Mario right there.
Yeah.
It's close enough that I get it, but it's in a primordial slime.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Then it turns out to be the true green. It's like, dude, bro. Like, stop. Right. You could have this cool, compelling story because it's there. But you're trying to, square peg, round hole, and think that you're smarter than the people who created Super Mario Brothers and made it. You're not going to be smarter than Nintendo at Nintendo's own stuff.
Yeah.
They are incredibly good at storytelling, making games, making entertainment. You're never going to beat them. So just take what they're doing and change the medium.
Yep.
Because they've got it locked in. You're not going to outdo them.
No. And why would you try?
Exactly. It's already brand made.
Yeah.
Work on your part.
It's the easiest job you've ever had. Just fucking do what they did and you're fine.
Yeah.
It's wild. All right, should we rate its turd?
Let's do it.
Oh, thank God it's week 4. Yeah, Super Mario Brothers, my movie. I'm gonna rate it. Look, I can't, even though we've had a very interesting discussion here and changed some viewpoints on how I look at this movie a little bit, it's still one of the worst movies of my childhood. So it's a 0.5 for me. And I think that's bolstered. I don't know if I would have still given this a 0 because I still think I'd watch this over She Dies Tomorrow, and I certainly would watch it over the other two, Moonfall and fucking. Not even gonna say it. That movie
Barbie, man.
Goddamn fucking bullshit. But yeah, like who sometimes kind of reminds me, Dave Radcliffe. He could do a Bob Hoskins style. Anyway, if you get that voice down. But yeah, look, it's 0.5. This movie sucked, but I have to watch. I'm gonna have to watch bits and pieces of it maybe, and be like, okay, if I look at this not from the lens of them trying to, but it ruined I was like, fuck you. This is one of my favorite games of all time, and you shit all over it because this movie sucked. Even as a kid, 12-year-old kid, I was like, nope, you fucked up. This movie was terrible. So yeah, 0.5. I say I'll probably try. I probably won't ever try to watch any bit of this movie again because it's bad. And we've had a good, faithful adaptation to a certain degree already that worked. And I was even skeptical of Chris Pratt as Mario, but it worked. And so why mess with a good thing and go back to this shit show other than for the pure entertainment value for our audience and listening to me bitch and whine and complain. And Alec made good points about how this could have been a fun movie versus a shitty Super Mario Brothers movie. So there it is. 0.5 for me. Fuck off.
All right, so here's the thing. It's bad if I start like actually analyzing your movie because I like to be entertained, right?
Yeah.
I watch movies to be entertained for 98% of the reasons. So if I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, how can I make this better? It's not good because I'm not entertained. I'm now thinking during the movie, and I just want to almost be like that mindless entertainment, enjoy the experience type of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So watching this and going, oh, I do this. Secondly, of course, hindsight's 20/20, right? But at the same time, I'm stupid. So if I'm sitting there and I'm like JJ can attest to this, twists, plot things that kind of, he's like, oh, I saw that. I was like, I had no clue, right? Like I watched Citizen Kane, Rosebud got me, had no clue, and that's just one of 1,000. And so if I'm sitting there and I'm coming up with ideas like, oh, no, you should have done this, I think you do this, you got a problem.
Yeah.
Because one, too stupid to figure that out anyways. I shouldn't be doing that for you. And two, that's not how I enjoy watching movies for the most part. I like to be the entertainment aspect, and kind of most of the time I'll come out of a movie going, I can find the good in it.
Yeah.
Not with this. And so it's going to be a 0.5 as well, because I had to watch this like in parts on YouTube. That was the only place I could find it.
Yeah.
Like 25 4-minute parts on YouTube because it doesn't exist anywhere else.
That's right.
And so it's just one of those things where you had the recipe, and I'll stand by it. I think the movie is great if you take out the name and change it up. And at this point, you could probably keep everything and re-release it.
Yeah.
And with some clever, movie magic tricks, have a great movie re-release, pretend that it never exists and call it Tony and Tony, and you'd be okay.
That'd be funny as fuck.
Like, I think you get away with it, but it's gonna be a 0.5 for me. I won't watch it again. Yeah. Thanks, JJ, for that.
You're welcome.
I suppose I was due it after the first 3 weeks.
No shit. I owed you a little bit. In fact, I may pack up my DVD version and send it to you just so you say you have it.
You have it on DVD?
Yeah, dude. It was a gag gift given to me years ago. I had to because they released it on DVD. Fuck knows why, but I was like, God damn, I gotta fucking
$36 in royalties.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I watched it. Fucking plugged that sumbitch in. I was like, oh my God, I don't even think I cracked the seal on that son of a bitch before we had to do this for this
now
movie.
It's ruined. It's lost.
Yeah, I know, right? Lost its value. Fuck. So yeah, there it is. Alec, tell everybody where they can find us when they're not hanging out with us in the slime.
Happy to. That's good, in the slime.
Yeah.
As we see us is on YouTube. You can see us go back and forth, see our faces at What's Our Verdict Reviews. After that, you can go to Patreon. What's Our Verdict Reviews? What's Our Verdict Podcast, I think, is on Patreon. And from there, you guys get voted in the content creation. So we do this back and forth topic for a month. That get voted on, picked. Then JJ and I will put movies that fit into this topic. Those get voted on and picked. And that is completely free to get involved with the content, so you can have some control over the movies that we do. Recently, we added some real stakes to the voting. Before, it was just bragging rights. Now they matter in the sense that we have each created a list of movies for the other that they do not want to watch. If you lose a month, your list goes up onto the Patreon to be that can be purchased, and we'll do a full-length episode based on that movie. So I picked JJ's list. JJ picked my list. I haven't seen my list, but I know it's bad. But since I won January, JJ's list is up. By the time you probably get through watching this, JJ will probably have won February through June, so it'll just be my list up there.
We can hope.
But that's kind of added some real life stakes, or some real stakes to the whole shebang of going back and forth with the votes. And I don't know. I kind of like it because I got focused in January on winning and not on the fact that I would have to watch the movies that I wanted. And the first 3 weeks were quite a doozy. But Patreon's a place to get involved there for the content creation. With special thanks to our current patrons, Rich and CB. Did a little combination there. That was weird.
That was funny.
But behind a little bit of paywall, we do also have, we're probably near at this point, close to 700 extra full-length episodes, behind the scenes tidbits, shorts, back and forth, whole 9 yards, fun conversations that we've had, or just making fun of each other. All that good stuff is up on Patreon for your viewing pleasure. With that, I'll kick it back to the King of Crash, the Titan of Terror, a JJ.
That's right, Titan of Terror. Wait till you see your list. There it is, Super Mario Brothers. We end, thankfully, the month. Oh, how did this get made? Movies. Boy, this one will be a while before we revisit it again. This has been an experience this month, but it's been fun at the same time. If you haven't watched, the last 3 weeks have been a pure fucking maniacal meltdown on my part. So if you need some
I've never seen JJ this mad.
Fuck, dude, week after week, I got more and more angry. By the time I finished, I was like Bob Hoskins Mario, fucking grumpy bastard. So, yeah, go check it out. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Cinemagic out.